a fighting method that was very successful during the Napoleonic Wars. But in fact, only Terror, built in 1813, saw any active service in those battles. Erebus was built at the Pembroke Dockyard and launched 1826, years after the end of hostilities with Napoleon. In fact, at the time of Erebus's launch, people in high places were actually questioning whether Britain needed a navy at all, now that the war with Napoleon was over. The navy's complement had been reduced from 125,000 sailors down to a mere 19,000, and many ships, including Erebus and Terror, had been laid up. The Admiralty realised it needed to reinvent itself simply just to justify its existence, and that's why there was such an enthusiasm for exploration. And the driving force behind this redirection of the Navy was this man, Joseph Banks. Banks had sailed with Captain Cook, bringing back huge amounts of scientific information, as well as mapping previously unknown corners of the planet. He became president of the Royal Society, and he held that post for 41 years until his death. Banks was joined by John Barrow, that second Secretary of the Admiralty, and together their mission was to make Britain a mighty force of exploration. They surrounded themselves with enterprising scientists and navigators, and these two men established the golden age of exploration from Britain. Erebus had been put to use patrolling the Mediterranean for a couple of years before being taken to the Antarctic by Ross. Terror, meanwhile, had been brought out of retirement in 1836 and refitted for polar exploration. Her first expedition was back to the Arctic under the command of George Back. Trapped in the ice for 10 months, she eventually limped back to Ireland, nearly sinking on the way.